All right, let's answer this question. It is 112 degrees today, but let's answer this question. It says it at the bottom, says I feel bad for them, blah, blah, blah. Tell me more about GameStop. I'm about that. You want to know more about GameStop? Well, first, that's all I talk about. 2, we're correct. 3, it's a great investment. You know, the idea is that digital was going out of business and it's a terrible company, all that good stuff, right? Well, watch this. I don't think people really understand Ryan Cohen's like this savant. He builds websites, e-commerce websites, and he makes them, more user-friendly, just more adaptive, and it's absolutely amazing how they do it. And he did Chewy, and obviously GameStop looks amazing, but not just GameStop, it's the powerpacks.gamestop.com that's next level. So, yeah, it's the greatest investment you'll ever see. And I think all of Wall Street recognizes that. That's why the institutional ownership has an uptick in inflow of over $1.4 billion on inflow over the last 2 years. And then additionally, they loaned them $4 billion. And because without the loans and the bonds, GameStop still has $6 billion cash. But they now have almost $10 billion. And if people knew, all the assets at GameStop added up, all the assets, minus the cash, right? But all the assets to run a business like GameStop, it costs you around $400 million of plants and property. And then you just churn your inventory. That's your liabilities. And you net a profit of $500 million a year. And to net a profit of $500 million, and then it only costs about $400 million to own a company like that. That just tells you how much $10 billion is to them. They literally could make 10 more companies that produce $500 million each, because they have that mindset, they have that ability. They built Chewy, man, and they don't get enough credit for it because they sold it for $3 billion, and then they just farmed it all out. But imagine if they would have hung on to that asset and grew it to what it could be, other than what it is today. But I think people figured it out. Like for them, they learned how to scale. And they learned what they want to do, how to do it logistically. And then, it's just the best investment you're ever going to see. 113 degrees right now. I feel the heat. So the truth is, GameStop's that. They're the ones that are going to beat Wall Street. They're the ones that are going to show real profits and big moves. When they deploy the $10 billion onto the market, during a correction, that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. And, it's not this Bitcoin treasury asset company. I know everyone wants to tag them with that, but they just bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin. That's just to back their assets. That's all they did. And guess what? That's all the assets they have. The rest is cash. They weren't going to buy Bitcoin for their cash, per se. It's for a depreciating thing, right? If your assets depreciate over time, then you can counter that with Bitcoin. But yeah, so anyway, GameStop's a great company to own. The business model works. It's to scale. It'll grow in revenue this quarter alone, and it'll continue to grow as products get released. People have to know how to execute when it's time to execute, like you do on May the 4th be with you, or you do on a Pro Member Week or Pokemon release, or Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming, right? When that gets released. We also have the Switch 2 that just got released. We also have the Xbox handheld coming out. It'll come out before Christmas. So just enough things to come out. And of course, video games feel recession-proof because people tend to turn, to video games to pass time and cope with the things. But a gamer's born every day. A gamer's born every day. So you'll need headphones. You'll need controllers, consoles, all the hardware in the world. How did GameStop insulate that? Well, they made a majority of the accessories private label. So they sell them themselves, their brand. So the markup's there, and that's why those margins have increased. And it's a good book. It's a really good book right now. GameStop and the story of GameStop is great. But when I say it's a good book, I'm talking about the book value for GameStop is solid. It only trades 2x book, which is not normal in today's market, in today's valuations. And that would make sense to someone else. But remember, this market's extended right now. And it's extended on debt, Covey light loans, and up and to the right mentality of investors. Investors just to piggyback on this part too, investors, they've been winning for so long. They've been winning for a decade and a half. They forgot how to lose. You look at every investment, it just goes up. It's a really easy market to win. I mean, I bet all these guys on Wall Street think they're savants and they're geniuses, right? Like, oh man, I'm an investor. Yeah, so easy to invest when everybody's willing to borrow and just use it for free. What do you do in a downturn? What do you do in a down round? You better look for cover. GameStop had a downturn and a down round in the middle of all of this growth, in the middle of all of this hysteria, and people wrote them off and people counted them out. Now they're about to have their most glorious moments while all these companies fall to their knees. I would tell you right now, GameStop is going to be that Bubba Gump shrimp moment. When you go out there and you see Bubba Gump shrimp sailboat after the hurricane, they're going to be the only ones feasting because they did it right. They built the infrastructure from the inside out. They cut out all the bullshit. They didn't get deterred or distracted by the media. They did the right thing every single time. I judge that leadership based off of what they don't do versus what they do. Pause. But this is our moment, guys. It's here. Earnings are in 10 days. And I'm just so excited for everyone that's involved. GameStop is going to announce a great earnings report. Don't care if the price stays stagnant. They had this run this one time, okay? Let me tell you something about 2020. There was this moment from like May to August of 2020 where the stock went sideways. The movement in the stock was literally like $1, but it was the equivalent of 94 cents all the way up to $1.26 of today's share price. But it was just, that was it. It went sideways for 3 months straight. And then the floodgates opened. And it just went up and to the right. And it went up 120x its position. That condensing, that consolidation had capitulation. Right now, GameStop has gone sideways for the same amount of time. It's gone from $22 and some change to 23 and 22, and it's tight. It's so tight. It's the tightest it's ever been. And we're about to have capitulation. We're about to have a run. This is our time. That's the story. Peace.